Another method to solve quadratics is the square root method. The square root method can be quite convenient, most especially when your equation is already set up so nicely where you have a perfect square on one side of the equation that includes your variable. So this is what I'm talking about. This right here is a perfect square. And it's so easy to undo the square by taking the square root of both sides. When you take the square root of both sides, when taking the square root of both sides, I cannot impress upon you enough how important this is. When taking the square root of both sides, I don't know why I put by, of both sides. Taking the square root of both sides. You must have plus or minus when a variable is involved. So here we have a variable involved. We are going to undo the square so that we can get to this term with x. So we want to solve for x. So what are we doing to x that we have to undo? Well, we're multiplying by 2, we're subtracting 1, we're squaring. We slowly have to get into the parentheses, so in order to do that, we are going to square root both sides. When we square root both sides of the equation, because a variable was involved, we have plus or minus. So the square root of 2x minus 1 squared is 2x minus 1. And the square root of 49 in this case is going to have both the primary root and the negative root. So we have 2x minus 1 equals plus or minus 7. That means I have 2x minus 1 equals positive 7, and 2x minus 1 equals negative 7. We're going to add 1 to both sides and then divide by 2. 2x equals 8, x equals 4. Again, I'm going to add 1 to both sides and then divide by 2. And we get x equals 4 and negative 3. Either one of those values is going to give us a result of 49 when we put it in that value in for x. For instance, 2 times 4 minus 1, then we need to square that. 8 minus 1 is 7, so that's 7 squared. If I put a negative 3 in, 2 times negative 3 minus 1, negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7, parentheses squared. That also gives us 49. So both of those values work. Both of those values work. Where we're going to go and use this square rooting both sides, where we will use the square root method is when we complete the square.